Hey guys, Melon Man here, and I am just getting prepared, getting ready for a call with her name. Her name is Yoga Premenda. Yoga Premenda. Yoga Premenda. I'm having a call with Yoga Premenda today. I cannot remember how I have made contact with her, come to know her, obviously through the online world, through Facebook. We have connected. Yoga, I don't believe this is her real name. She's involved with yoga. This is what I know. And so I'm excited to have an opportunity to speak with her. I am very much inspired by yoga. Hello there.
Hey, how are you?
Yes, great.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. You're John, right?
Yes. You're yoga?
My name is Yoga Premananda, but I go by Prima for short.
Yoga is your real name?
Yeah, I legally changed my name to Yoga. Yeah. That's my name.
You were so inspired by yoga that you changed your name to Yoga.
Yeah, because it's my spiritual path. Actually, my teacher in India gave me the name. You know, when you go to India and you study with a master, they give you a spiritual name a lot of times. So yeah, my teacher in India gave me.
So you are big time. You have been to India to practice yoga with a master.
Yeah, and Ayurveda to study. I studied most of the Ayurveda studies I've done were at an ashram in India. Yeah.
Oh, Ayurveda. Okay, so you are into the classical healing of Ayurveda?
It's part of what I do. Yeah.
Okay, so you've been inspired by Ayurveda?
Yeah, largely. Yeah, and
largely inspired by the detoxification processes involved with Ayurveda.
Yes, and energy medicine would probably be the second biggest component. Yeah.
Ayurveda, one component of Ayurveda is the energy practice?
No, there's two different components to what I do with healing. Like one piece of the pie is Ayurveda, another piece of the pie is energy medicine.
All right. So
it's kind of like,
right.
Yeah.
I like it. And energy medicine is what you do when you teach yoga with them.
Actually, I don't teach yoga. I've just studied yoga. I don't teach yoga at all. So I'm not certified in yoga. I'm certified
I'm not a certified yoga instructor either, but I teach my yoga. I teach energy work. I teach energy flow. I teach flexibility. I teach breath work. I teach connecting to the energy within. I'm a professional trainer. So I teach people about movement and nutrition and mindset and how we can heal ourselves with movement and exercise and nutrition and a change of mind. And all of this is really energy work.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, all under that umbrella. Are you in Toronto?
Just outside Toronto, yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
And where are you?
Right now I'm in Hollywood, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. And how long have you been doing what you're doing?
You know, professionally, I professionally went full-time detoxing clients about maybe a year ago. So this is new for me to do full-time detox. Before that, I was doing psychic readings and doing a lot of energy work and like past life regression. But then everybody was coming to me sick and not feeling well. So it just was a natural progression for me to incorporate the detox now as my main service that I offer.
Detox for customers.
Yeah.
How old are you?
45.
Ah, wow, very similar. I'm turning 48 this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And how long have you been doing like detox, Ayurveda, yoga?
For a little over 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah. As like my full-time lifestyle.
Very nice. So
Yeah.
are you a vegan?
Yeah, I've been organic vegan for 15 years.
Organic vegan.
Yeah.
All right.
What
Awesome.
are you, so are you partners with the other guy that I spoke with online?
Oh, maybe, did you talk with Lee Molson?
Yeah.
Oh, great. So this is a contact through, Alkalize to Realize.
Yeah.
This is an Alkalize to Realize conversation we are having here. Yes, Lee Molson is the producer of that page.
Oh, amazing.
And I am one of the interviewers for that page. So
Amazing.
today I am working for Alkalize to Realize, but I work for myself as well too, in that I help people to make change in their life. And often I'm not even sure who I'm speaking to or how I kind of got into contact with them. But yes, Alkalize to Realize is a Facebook page. Have you spoken with Lee or?
Yeah, I spoke to Lee. I just wasn't sure if you and him were buddies or friends,
Yes,
if you guys
we
worked
are in
together or...
association together with that page.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yes. So he's the producer.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, and we're just trying to get the word out to people that they can change their lives.
Absolutely. I really do feel like people are really awake right now and so open to things that I feel like people weren't open to when I would have this conversation with somebody, 10 years ago. It was a very different conversation, and I feel like today
Couldn't have this conversation 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Even kids, like I'm working with so many kids now, parents are realizing that they need to get their kids help like this instead of just bringing them to the doctor.
Interesting.
And it's
excellent.
beautiful.
You would see the transition more if you've been doing it for 10 years. I've only been, this is my 4th year working into the vegan lifestyle and working through the detoxification process myself. So it's still, relatively new to me. And I've seen that while it's a little better now than it was 3 or 4 years ago, I would say that for the first three years, it's been, people have not been very open-minded to things that I've been kind of trying to share.
Yeah, I do feel like because the medical industry has been letting so many people down, and I think a lot of people are realizing that their back's kind of against the wall. They've been taking medications, paying exorbitant amounts of money for health insurance. Well, I don't know about up in Canada, but here in the US, it's really exorbitant to pay for health insurance. Pharmaceuticals cost really like insane amounts of money. The doctors, so when you really add it all up and then not to get results, it's heartbreaking for these people. So my message is actually a little bit extreme because I haven't stepped foot in a doctor's office for over 20 years. I had an interesting experience where I had a health crisis and my heart was giving out, and I went to the emergency room, and I was flatlining, and I crossed over to the other side, had a whole near-death experience, came back into my body, and I was told to leave the emergency room. I got up and left the emergency room, and from that day forward, I was guided with constantly being shown the proper information as to heal my body naturally. And so I completely healed myself over the course of years, 100% naturally, got rid of my health insurance, absolutely lived my entire life with no pills, no doctors, no health insurance. For the first few years, I still went to dentists and did like a yearly gynecology checkup. But even after 4 years, I didn't even do that anymore because the mouth is so easy to take care of. You just take food grade hydrogen peroxide, floss every day, use fluoride free toothpaste. And then, a lot of my clients are females that have, pretty serious female issues going on now with women at young ages. And it's just so much better not to go to a doctor, because the first thing the doctors do is they try to put people on medications and all different things. So I'm sure you probably see a lot of this with your clients, but my message is a little bit radical because I'm trying to educate people to the point where they do not need their doctors or their health insurance. at all anymore at all. You know, you should go to a doctor because you want to, not because you have to.
I love your message. You know, I also am trying to have people realize that health is something that they can control, and it's
Absolutely.
It's really something that is just that they just need to get some new information.
Yes.
We need new knowledge, and we also need to make a decision. There's an intention that must be made within the being itself if it wants to start to heal themselves properly and naturally. In that we have to decide that, you know, I have tried the doctor route, I have tried the medication route, I've been living with this problem for umpteen years and it hasn't gone away. So rather than accept this, I'm going to accept a different approach than what I'm currently doing, and I'm going to turn myself away from what I've known and move in an alternative direction.
Yeah.
We really have to stop being divided, because when you're kind of halfway in the natural healing paradigm and still, you know, but my doctor said, and my neighbor said, and my brother said, and I heard this, and I saw this on a commercial, and I saw this, and I heard this. Well, it's not going to work that way.
Yeah. Hallelujah, honestly, because I bump up against that all the time. I'm constantly coaching people and, you know, stripping away the layers of the medical industry. Does such a job on people. It's like they curse someone because they tell somebody like, oh, well, if you don't take this medication, you're going to die.
Right.
You don't get this surgery, you're going to die.
Right.
Now they have this curse over them, and they're so afraid by the time they see somebody like us.
So they don't want to stop the medication because they're going to die.
And then really they're not.
Right. So, no, you're going to live.
Guess what?
Oh, you're
gonna
live. Wonderful.
But I love weaning people off of pharmaceuticals. It's actually one of my favorite things to do.
Wow. Excellent. So I would love to encourage people to get in touch with you to work through that process. Since you've already had those experiences with people, I would love to encourage my clients and my members to reach out to you to work their way off of those things they've got in their life. Because what do you think? Pharmaceuticals, has a pharmaceutical drug ever cured anybody?
No, absolutely not. The side effects are horrendous. Right now, I'm weaning so many men off of blood pressure medication. I think the doctors are just handing out blood pressure medication like it's nothing. And you know, like one of the main side effects of that is ED, erectile dysfunction. So all these men now, there's this rampant, you know, thing going on with the ED, like women coming in very upset because now they have no more sex life with their husband. All their husbands, you know, are on this blood pressure medication. And blood pressure is one of the easiest things to cure naturally, which is ironic.
And then they've got to go on the Viagra pill to...
And that creates a heart problem, and then they have to go on the heart medication. It's a domino effect.
Right, then they're on the heart medication. So I've got a few people on the heart medication. I've got a few people on some obviously anxiety and depression drugs.
Those are the worst because they attack the pineal gland, the liver, the kidneys, and the adrenal glands get really out of balance with anxiety medications.
Interesting. And then I've got some people on anti-stroke medications, and obviously some people using pain relief and anti-inflammatory sort of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's why now, that's what led me to do full-time detox now, because people would come to me with all these issues, and immediately the body has to be detoxed. The detox I do is a very intense protocol. It's 21 to 30 days. Actually just came from the sauna with 2 of my clients right now. I have a protocol that I created over 20 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's, so they're in and out of the sauna, the dry sauna. So the dry sauna is for detox. The steam room does not detox the body, but it's great for relaxation and beauty. So in order to detox, you have to go in the dry sauna.
Interesting information. Everyone loves the steam room over the dry sauna. They don't like the dry sauna as much. I love both. I love sauna. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
infrared sauna. I love dry sauna.
Yeah.
I love steam. I love the sauna. And I love the cold plunge in between.
Yep. Me too. That cold plunge is amazing.
Yes. So can you share a little bit more about your 21-day detox process then? Like, what is it about? What is detoxification, first of all? What is
Okay.
detoxification?
All right, so I wrote a blog called The Difference Between a Cleanse and a Detox because they're two very different things. If you're doing a cleanse, it's targeting usually one of the organs, or it just, like you can do a liver cleanse, or it just targets weight loss, or it'll just target digestion. So a cleanse really is trying to clean up one area of somebody's health. A detox is where you're sweating. The only way to really take the toxins out of the body is to sweat them out. And so I came up with this ratio. So the body is an exact mathematical science. So it's like, that when you look on the back of a bottle, like it always says, 15% of your recommended value, 10% of your recommended value. So like everything's percentages in the body. So if the percentages get off, if you have 100% of vitamin C in there, but then you have no vitamin E, now you're out of balance. So that's one thing that the detox I do puts the whole body back into balance. So you're at 100% of every single level that the body needs. I'm able to figure out where there's a deficiency, and I fix that through all the supplementation that I use. But there's one supplement which is called vitamin B3. It's niacin. Have you heard of it? It's one of the B complexes. So the whole variation of B complexes, they each do something different. Now the nervous system goes around the entire body. The nervous system is what dictates our learning. It dictates our motor function. The nervous system consists of the brain and the spine. As soon as somebody drinks coffee, as soon as somebody drinks alcohol, anybody whose body goes out of being alkaline, if it gets too acidic, all the B complexes immediately pulled out of the nervous system. And the nervous system needs B complex in order to do its job. So B complex is the nervous system's gasoline, so to speak, in order for it to function properly. So many people are walking around with vitamin B complex deficiency. And so this detox I do, there's just a million different components. There's Ayurvedic body cleansing rituals. There's putting the body back into balance through supplementation. And so I give them vitamin B3, which is niacin, and that starts the detox process. All the toxins that get lodged in the fatty tissue of the body get released into the bloodstream. And then I have them start to go in and out of the dry sauna.
So I know the niacin creates a real flush in the body.
It's very intense.
Like, I mean, the body gets kind of itchy and the skin can be very kind of prickly, this kind of feeling. That is the release of toxicity into the bloodstream? Is that what that is?
That's right. That's the release
Very
of
interesting,
toxins.
wonderful share. I've stayed away from all vitamin isolates for the last 3-4 years. I haven't been using any just because I've been on my natural kind of quest and trying to get away from kind of following Robert Morris's idea that
he's my favorite. He's my favorite. He's the best.
Okay, great. I love Robert Morris as well too, and
yes,
I know he's against isolates. So interesting that you're, introducing an isolate to help trigger the detoxification process. So would you
It's only temporary. It's only during the detox.
So how long? For 21 to 30 days?
Everybody's different. So every single person is different. So I do a health consultation. I'm also a medical medium. So intuitively, I can tune in and see exactly what somebody needs, exactly what areas of someone's body. So like my health consultation really gives me the whole picture. And then I can specifically customize how many days and how much supplementation to do with each person. It's very different. Now you have to be careful. Like if you're telling your clients about this, people can really hurt themselves with niacin. That's why there's warning signs all over niacin. If you Google niacin on the internet, there's warning all over the internet about niacin because people can really hurt themselves and put themselves out of balance with it. So you never want to tell a client like, oh, just go take niacin and that's going to detox your body, because it doesn't work that way. So I don't want to put out a false impression. on that.
So, and obviously dosage related for niacin for the size of the being and the age of the being and how toxic maybe the being is. So obviously they'd have to go through a process before they got involved with any of the things that we're talking about here. We're not suggesting anyone jump into anything. We're just showcasing some alternative ideas than what the mainstream is taught us, because life has kind of taught us to kind of look to authority outside of the self. It's taught us to ask our parents, and then ask our teachers, and then ask our coaches, and then always ask our doctor and ask our boss. And you know, the real answer is internal. We all need to find to get our internal reference point. We all need to learn how to find the healer that's within each one of us, because healing is not something that anybody else can do. Someone else can help you to make some different choices in your life, but it's still the being that has to choose for themselves and make a decision to go in an alternative direction and commit and do the work that's required in order to come from where they are to get to where they want to go. And it's not all happy-go-lucky work, although it becomes more and more happiness and joy in your life afterwards. But we have to go through a little bit of discomfort before we're going to get there. We have to step a little bit outside of the comfort zone in order to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really interesting thing that I work with my clients. So a lot of people really honestly just do not know about their bodies when they come to me, probably the same with you. So like this morning I was educating my clients on the top half of the body is called the North Pole. This is like an energy medicine. The bottom half of the body is called the South Pole. Now, the first, second, and third chakra or energy center is the South Pole.
Awesome.
Yes.
The first three chakras, the root, yes.
Yes. So now this is where we're constantly putting out energy. Energy will go out of the body and the bottom three chakras in the South Pole. On the top three chakras on the North Pole, this is where our crown chakra is open. We're pulling the energy in. So we make all of our energy on our top half of our body. So it comes in through the top and it goes down. So when people have blockages and things, this is where discomfort happens. And so I try to teach people about energy very early in the detox process, because energetically things start flowing. Like on my detox, just as much as it is a physical detox, the emotions start detoxing immediately. Memories come up for very specific reasons, and I tell people, do not ignore the memory that's coming up. It's coming up for a very specific reason. This is where you have to look straight at it, confront that memory, let it do whatever it's going to do in your system, let it alchemize you. Very important part of the process. Nothing is just physical, nothing is just emotional, nothing is just mental.
It's all three have to be addressed. The thoughts, yes, the emotions, and the physical detox, the habits and behaviors and substances, yep, that are linked to whatever you're doing that's causing that problem. So I want, yep, to double back to a couple of things you said there.
Yep.
Emotional blocks, the pain, the discomfort, the blockage, the energetic blocks in the body. Energy is trying to move through the body and there's a block. Something is blocking it. And it could be something then psychological. It's got something emotional.
Yes.
And it's got something physical. So you've gotten into a food that you've gotten maybe addicted to, or a substance like coffee or alcohol, or sex or marijuana, or whatever your way of coping with the problem that you've got. Actually, that Band-Aid is blocking you from healing that problem.
Yes, absolutely. And it's such a, even though the physical, mental, emotional components, you know, they're three separate aspects of us, but they all work together as one unit. So that's why it's so important to address all three together. That's why somebody that goes to a therapist and just sits on a couch and talks about their problems for an hour, that doesn't do anything. It doesn't help anybody.
Talking about problems is not how we solve them.
Yeah. Same thing. If you just go to a doctor to try to alter the diet just to lose weight, a lot of times that doesn't do anything either. Somebody will yo-yo. They'll go
Or
up and
just
down
take a
in weight.
medication or a drug or something, or self-medicate with alcohol or marijuana or coffee. You're just self-medicating. You're just using a drug as well too.
But a lot of times you will notice if somebody just focuses on their mindset, they will see results that are long lasting, because our mindset really does dictate. When we get our mind right, our emotions become right. And then when our mind and our emotions are right, then usually our physical aspects can also come into alignment.
And did you say that that was an alchemical process?
That I'm not, I mean, getting our mind right, or?
I thought you said something about alchemy or alchemical, no?
Oh, I talked about alchemy a little bit ago. Yeah, the alchemy, yes. When all
What did
three,
you say
yes.
about the alchemy? What did you say about the alchemy?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, the alchemy is basically thought. Our world is managed by thought. And so we have to work through the thoughts that are associated, that are creating the emotions, that are creating the habits, that are creating the problems in our life. So alchemically changing means changing our minds.
Yes.
We need to change our minds. So the things in our life that we hate, the aspects of our life that we hate, the parts of our life that we are resistant to,
I feel like that's
of our life that we don't like, we may need to readdress the things that we hate in our life.
That's the first things we should be addressing. The first thing, absolutely. Things
Stop hating your life.
The thing we don't want to.
Stop hating the things that you don't like in your life. Find out how to get a little more comfortable with that. Speak about it in a little bit different way. As long as you keep getting all wound up and tense when you talk about the CRA, or you talk about the government, or you talk about what this person's doing or what that person's done, and you're getting all tense about it and you start screaming and yelling, you're bringing that energy into your moment right now. So you keep recreating the same problems in your life again and again and again for yourself, because you're bringing all that emotional energy into it in every single conversation that you have. Every single time I speak with you, you're in a fight. You're in a fight with someone. You've got to let go of all of that fight, all of that rage, all of that anger, all of that frustration. We got to settle that down a little bit.
But I think a lot of times people don't know how to do that.
Excellent.
And that's why it's, teaching mind, like the clients that I have right now, they are traditional Jewish. They observe Shabbat, they're very traditional. So I can't use the word meditation. I can't really use the word chakras with them. So really what we do, for me, it's universal. I work with so many different religions, from Christianity to Muslim clients.
Catholicism, people that are stuck in those religions, and I don't want to even say stuck, have chosen to engage in those religions for their whole life. I came from a past of those religions as well too. And it's very hard when you've lived a life of religion and you've devoted yourself to that, and you've found major benefits in your life and soothing in your life that way, to now start suggesting that there's an alternative way to engage with your life, and people are very resistant to that.
Yeah, but it's been nice for me, because I really feel like I've found a way to streamline everything. I learned this from Dr. Joe Dispenza. So Dr. Joe Dispenza is amazing. He was one of my best teachers in this aspect, because he talks to the normal, everyday man and woman that come to him. He heals some of the most intense illnesses from the common man. He has taken all of very high esoteric wisdom around healing, and he's brought it right down to
subconscious and conscious mind.
Common ground, yeah. And this really worked for me as well. I feel like it's a great thing to do. Some of my other teachers have also told me over and over again, like, you have to meet people where they're at. Like, we can't expect people to meet us where we're at. We have to meet them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So no judgment,
and then we bring
judgment of anyone. I've grown a tremendous amount and changed my understanding, and I know how difficult it was for me to do it, and how challenging it was for me to let go of some things. But you know, as long as we're polarized to kind of one way of thought, every single way of thought says that's the only way. And as soon as you start going another way, you feel like that seems like the devil, or it seems like it's the bad guy, or it's like, oh, don't go over there. And it can't be like that. We've got to get a little more settled and balanced. And this is alchemy as well, again, too, is that there are two forces here. And we have to balance these two forces in ourselves, in our lives. And we got to come back to the one unifying bit, which is love.
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
That's alchemical. That's alchemical. Yes. Because there's one source of energy that unites all things here. So all things come together in one place. So it's not the devil. It's not good and bad. It's not evil. It's just allow yourself to be a little more open, a little more soft, and step forward, you know, gently. Step forward gently, right? Encourage people to come forward gently, just a little bit from where they are. And then they see and feel the benefit, then they're willing to step forward a little bit more.
Yes, I love that. You just really hit the nail on the head. I think at the end of the day, that's really all we're doing is getting to that ultimate vibration.
Awesome. So, you know, you talked about alcohol, you talked about coffee. People need to stop?
I do believe yes. I do believe people need to completely stop coffee, completely stop alcohol.
Eventually.
I think now is the best time, you know.
Take action now.
Yeah.
So when people get started with you, you're right away, you're saying, listen, guys, no more coffee, no more alcohol.
Yeah. On my contract, on my agreement, in order for me to work with someone, like I'm at the point where I only work with highly committed people. I only work with people that are willing to give up all coffee, all the alcohol, you know, to be plant-based for 30 days. Of course, I coach them through everything from morning to night. They are like fully coached.
For 30 days. So that this detox is a commitment that they make. And for the 21 to 30 days, they're signing an agreement with you. I'm not going to engage in this for 21 to 30 days. Now, after that, are they, obviously, they're free to go about how they want to go about with their life.
Yeah, my recommendation for them is always to continue with it for 90 days because in the body, cells turn over in about 90 days. So say you completely have the cleanest diet in the world for 30 days, you do a detox. Now your cell is actually detoxed, but now all of a sudden you start drinking alcohol or coffee again or eating meat, getting the body very acidic. The cell isn't going to turn over into a new healthy cell. So the cellular makeup of the body needs 90 days to completely replenish itself and turn over. Like we could have literally a whole new body, you know, every year. If we're turning over our cells in a healthy way, like I've watched myself anti-age every single year. Every single year I look younger and then younger and then younger. I get stronger, I get more flexible.
All of the cells in the body are replaced in a year. So, you know, by the end of the year, your cells are only a year old. The only thing that's getting old is our mind. So if you want to keep talking about old things and being an old person, and if you want to associate yourself with those thoughts and words, then that's your choice and you're creating that in your life. And you can do that if you like.
Yeah. It's amazing because one of the main things I learned in India was how to have a powerful thought that created a ripple effect in my life. Like in the ancient wisdoms, they teach you that your thoughts are your gods. Like that's what we're going to follow is our thoughts. And so having the most powerful thought, because we don't manifest what we want, we manifest what we believe. So if we believe that we're going to age, then we're going to age. If we believe that, you know.
And society has taught us that right from the beginning. So we're all stuck in that paradigm. So to gradually unwind that paradigm is an effort with thought. It's a thought effort. It's alchemical. We live in a mental universe that's dictated and managed by thought. Nothing can come into the physical reality unless it first is entertained in thought, in mind, and then expressed in word next. That's how it moves from the mind into vibration, a word that can now shake an eardrum and create a change in the physical environment, in the manifest space. Amazing. Organic vegan. Why vegan? What is it about being vegan? Why do we need to push people to start to reduce the meat?
I feel like it is good. Are you vegan, by the way?
I am vegan. I mean, sometimes I put Parmesan on my pasta. I'm not perfect. On the weekend was my dad's 70th birthday. I had some pizza. I'm not crazy.
So you're 80-90%
vegan. Yeah. Yes. Oh, above 80% awesome. Vegan, yes. 90% vegan.
Okay, I consider that vegan. So yeah, I feel like, this is kind of interesting for me. Like, this is an interesting story. I woke up one morning, and that morning when I opened my eyes, I was like, oh my God, I'm vegan. Like, I had an energy shifted within my body, and I just became vegan. Like, I never decided consciously I'm going to become a vegan. I didn't do any research. Nothing like that. So I feel like because of the way I experienced becoming vegan, that it was an energetic shift within my body. And then I became vegan. Like, I think consciousness wise, just from meditating every day and doing all this, I came to a point where I just couldn't eat meat anymore. So nobody had to force me or talk me into it. And I went cold turkey. I didn't slowly slide into becoming vegan. I literally, from one day to the next, was a vegan and didn't eat meat, and so the energetic shift, I think, is probably one of the most powerful ways to become anything in life. So for people that I coach, that I see that they haven't yet had that shift, so I focus on that. I focus on the energetically getting someone to a place where then that's going to be their natural state by raising their vibration so high.
Awesome. Everything is frequency and vibration. If we can raise the frequency and vibration of the being, then the being stepping back into its greatest health and wellness. Now, what do you do to try to raise the frequency and vibration? One is you move them towards higher frequency, higher vibration foods. The less dense foods are higher frequency, higher vibration, and require less work and effort from the body in order to digest. So that frees up and creates digestive rest within the body, which allows the body to heal and move to a higher frequency and vibration.
Absolutely. It's amazing. So great.
So moving away from the animal proteins, is it for 21 days or 30 days that you're suggesting no meat?
Yeah. So while we're doing the sauna protocol, there's no meat. If I sense that the person is really not doing well and they need a little piece of chicken or something, I will tell them, like, okay, go have 3 ounces of chicken, make sure it's not fried, and don't put any sauces on it. Just eat the meat by itself. So something like that. Like, I always tell my clients, listen to your body. I've seen people try to force juice cleanses and things on themselves. I've seen it really backfire on people. They mess up their metabolism. They wind up gaining more weight than they had, lost. So I think when people don't listen to their body, they get in trouble. So I do teach them to listen to their body, but because I'm right there with them, it's usually pretty easy for people that I work with to be completely, even like it's as extreme as, like, I was working with some male clients, even a girl actually, and I tell them, like, no casual sex. If you're detoxing emotions, you're detoxing toxic relationships that you've had, and you're detoxing your negative patterns.
Behavior, habits, sexual engagement. That's the way you're engaging with your life. You need to change the way you're engaging with your life. If you're engaging with your life with sex every single day, if you're engaging with your life by cheating on your partner, if you're engaging with your life by withholding sex from your partner, I mean, it's a change of the way that you're engaging with your life. This is what has to happen, an energetic shift. So we need to change habits like alcohol and coffee, which are very acidic and which stimulate the nervous system or depress the nervous system. Well, have massive effects on the energetic footprint of the being, which is what we need to raise, the energetic footprint of the being. Meat is very difficult to digest. It's very, very dense, and it's also very, very acidic.
Yeah.
What does alkalization have to do with the detoxification process?
Alkalining the body, as you probably know, gets rid of all disease. So toxins can come out easier. There's also a heightening of senses. I notice when I get somebody's body very alkaline, they can see better, they can hear better. Their taste buds detox. So things that they were craving before, they no longer crave, because now their tongue, their actual taste buds are completely different. Most people's taste buds are very toxic. So that's why they crave, processed foods. When you detox someone's tongue and their mouth out, they're only going to crave like huge salads and apples and fresh pressed juice.
People that smoke cigarettes, they lose their taste buds. When they stop smoking the cigarettes, they detox. All of a sudden they get their taste buds back. Things can return in the body, but we have to stop the habits and behaviors that are causing the things to be a problem.
Yeah. So like when you do like a regimen of exercise, mindfulness, and nutrition? Are you kind of...
Yes, exercise, nutrition, and I'm trying to push more into the mindfulness, the meditation, and the yoga. But people, when they click on a personal trainer, they kind of have this idea in their mind, it's exercise and nutrition. That's what it is. So they kind of put up the roadblock when you start saying, you need to meditate, you need to be mindful, you need to gain self-awareness, you need to be aware of what you're thinking, saying, and doing. You need to reduce your alcohol, you need to stop your coffee. I'm not looking for all that. I just want to lose 5 or 10 pounds, Like, it depends. You want to lose it and gain it back again? Or do you want to make a change in your life that's for real and forever?
Yeah. I think too, like, as far as the teaching, I think too, maybe because for me, like on my website and things like that, like you can just tell that my predominant thing is the spiritual side,
The spirit side. This is the thing. Like when people click on personal trainer, they're not clicking on a spiritualist, right? They're not thinking that they're signing up for a change of spirit. And a lot of people that are clicking on I want to get skinny are not even open to the idea that they have a spirit. Spirit, that's woo-woo. What's that? Hang on a second. I know that. That's religion. I don't want that. And I understand that that's what you've learned in your past, but what we're talking about, spirit, everybody has a spirit. We are body, mind, and spirit.
Like I start out, before I even go there, like with people that I work with that are very religious, that don't have a meditation practice, I actually start on a very slow gradient. I think it's really important to go in baby steps, little baby steps that people can bite off and chew and really get good at one thing and then get off the next thing. I think it's really important not to give somebody something that's so out reality for them because they're not going to get it anyway. So I actually start with breathing techniques first.
I focus on breathing in the workouts. Like, let's just get more aware of the breath, like taking deep breaths and becoming more aware of them. So just more conscious breaths in your day. Let's start there. I agree with you. I do that to start off in the workouts. And then I say my yoga and my meditation, I do that like in a workshop, in a 6-week kind of workshop, and encourage people to come to that, but it's not as attended, obviously, as my exercise sessions, right?
Yeah. That's amazing. Good job,
I'm trying.
Good job.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing the best I can. I want to ask you about this because this has been one thing that I see happening a lot. And obviously, if you've been doing this for 10 or 20 years, you've seen this more than I have. And I wonder how you would address this. Vegans going back to meat.
I do feel like it's important for people to listen to their body. If someone has been on the vegan diet for 2, 3, sometimes I've heard of people being vegans for 10 years and then going back to meat. I think it's just important for people not to judge themselves, because that doesn't do anything. I think we should never have the emotion of shame in our experience. We should never feel shame for anything wrong or right that we've ever done in our life. Shame is the most
right and wrong's gotta go.
It's gotta go. So I think people just listen to their body, and I try to tell people, if you're gonna eat meat, go try to find some really high quality meats. I don't think a lot of places in the world sell.
What do you think that is about? Why do you think that is? Is it that people, a lot of people are leveraging on that and saying, see, people need meat.
Okay, I feel that everything is frequency. I think if somebody has the lifestyle and a frequency where they're either marrying, I've seen it where somebody was marrying somebody that was eating meat, and then that person that was vegan for a long time started eating meat, and then they had kids, and now it was the whole family scene. I saw it also where one person got into more of a corporate job, and now when you're in a corporate frequency for 40 hours a week, your consciousness goes down, and you're going to eat meat, or you're going to start drinking coffee again. It's all about our environment.
Energetic.
It's all energetics. Yeah, I've been 15 years, and I have no desire to go back, because I live in I'm a healing practitioner. So I'm living in the space 24/7. I have nothing that I'm bumping up against in society.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing comes into my vortex.
Right. So
that's societal.
A partner maybe, a career maybe, some sort of change in their lifestyle that's causing an energetic shift. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'll tell you, my experience is minimal. I've only been 4 years in this lifestyle, but I do have a friend right now who started into this lifestyle around the same time as me, like 4 years ago. And she was a very, very adamant healer. She's living down in Australia, and, has been pushing the fruit diet and the detoxification and the emptiness for the last 4 years. And then in the last 3-4 months has shifted back into meat eating. And I see association there with her building her body physically, like working out with the weights, trying to be bigger. And so that's a change of thought and mind. I think that would definitely require you to maybe indulge more in meat. Like if you're pushing heavier weights, if you're trying to get bigger, like just the idea that you need to be bigger right there, right off the bat, that's a broken thought that needs to be addressed. The idea that you need to be more than anything than what you are is a broken idea that needs to be addressed. So yeah,
and if she's in a gym where there's heavy bodybuilding going on,
right,
all of the reptilian brain is being activated every day.
If she's got a boyfriend in there,
in that gym.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Like if you watch, I don't know, do you watch sports a lot?
We watch basketball here. My family does. My daughters are very heavy into basketball. My wife's a very adamant sports watcher. And definitely like the community around you, right?
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes watching lots of heavy like footballs and things like that can also activate the reptilian brain, where then I think it puts out the frequency of like alcohol and meat and things like that. I noticed that sports tend to also do it a lot for a lot of people.
Interesting observation. Like, I mean, I'm totally influenced by my wife and my children and what's going on and the season and the Christmas and the Easter and all the things that are going on around me. That influences me tremendously. And I'm always trying to, kind of juggle both of those, because obviously I'm a family man as well as a coach and a trainer.
Is your family doing veganism, or are you just?
My family is mostly vegan.
That's great that they're doing it with you. That's great.
Yeah, and even ahead of me. My daughter and my wife were vegan before I became vegan. So
nice.
I was a big bodybuilder for many, many years. So I'm coming from that really kind of reptilian brain and kind of unlearning what I learned and accepted as truth in my life, and letting go of that slowly and breaking down the barriers. And it's not always easy, and it's not always comfortable. And it's really recognizing in myself ideas that I was holding on to that I need to let go of. And that's
Amazing.
a little bit uncomfortable, and it's a blow to the ego sometimes. And yes, that's all a part of it, and it's okay, and you'll get over it, and it'll change, and it'll be for the better.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's really cool. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. Well, you look so healthy. You look so healthy and like lean, and just like your eyes are glowing.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you. So who, like, what inspired you at the start of this whole thing?
You know, what did inspire me? I read a book by Louise Hay, of course, You Can Heal Your Life.
Love that book.
Yeah, and then I read a couple of other books on affirmations and how you can start to heal your body through visualizations and daily affirmations. So that started working.
We've got to work affirmations into our life, don't we?
It's powerful. It's really powerful. And yeah, so I think that was kind of like, I remember some of the first things I grabbed onto when I was just learning. So I think it's just the things there was a book by Jordan Rubin, and it was called Patient Heal Thyself. Patient Heal Thyself by Jordan Rubin. He was one of the first books I read, and he had digestive issues. He almost died. He was down to like 80 pounds because he couldn't eat anything. And he healed himself with nutrition, and it was like his journey. And then he opened up a company called The Garden of Life, which unfortunately he sold, so it's now owned by somebody else. But they still have really good quality products. But yeah, so I remember reading his story and being really inspired.
I read Dr. Arnold Ehret's book. That was the first thing that really made a massive transformation for me. Are you familiar with that book?
What is it?
Oh, The Mucusless Diet. You must have heard of that.
I've heard of it, but I've never read it. What is it? What does it say?
Book that transformed me in my life. Like, as soon as I read that, I read it, in 2 days, all night I read it. And
oh my gosh.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, I get it now. I see what's wrong. I see what I've been doing wrong. I see what I need to change, and started to, make changes in my life from then on. But I mean, I'm coming from like this bodybuilding world where I was so far deep into that protein thing. And I had,
the protein myth.
A world around me that had been built around protein. So I had to put out the brakes and throw that in reverse, and obviously, adjust the people that are around me, encourage. I have to meet them where they are, because I was an influencer in all of that, and I didn't even recognize these changes that needed to be made in my life till I was 44, 45 years old. So how can I not respect my 16-year-old daughter, or not appreciate my 45-year-old wife, or, or my client that's 35 or has been eating this way till they're 65. If I can't meet them where they are and love them where they are, then I'm not even fit to be their coach.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have to see the perfection and see. Our job is to see the God and the perfection in people. Rule number one, we have to open our hearts so wide that then they're able to open their hearts and love themselves.
That's an expansion within ourselves as a leader. We have to expand ourselves in order to be able to inspire people to move forward. That's very important, that we continue to grow.
Yeah. And we can only do that by doing our own trauma work. So it's like every day, everything I'm doing with my clients, I've been doing that on myself every day for over 20 years. Like, I do my trauma work every day.
There's a
and it's
daily
never
practice
It's never ending.
Has to happen. We have to practice ourselves.
Like, one of my big wins last year was like, I up-leveled. I had a huge up-leveling last year. I was doing my trauma work. And it's funny how, like, on the journey, different things, and for me, unexpected things have come up. And for me, it was around beauty, because as a woman, I feel like I had to focus so much on my beauty for so much of my life.
Women have to be sexy, and if they're not good. And if they're not sexy enough, they're not good.
So for me, I stopped going to the beauty salon. I stopped waxing my eyebrows. I stopped shaving. I let all the hair grow out on my body. I stopped cutting my hair. I just let my hair's like down to my root chakra. It was life-changing because so many women go to the beauty salon every month and they get their nails done and they like, you know, I don't put nail polish on my anymore. I don't wear, you know, cologne or, you know, perfumes, and I don't do like spending hundreds of dollars
I
on
stopped
products.
all the body creams I was putting on, all the deodorant
done.
I was putting on, get all of that
Done.
stuff out of my body and life, because all of that stuff's got chemicals in it. The fluoridated water, it's got fluoride in it, it's got chlorine in it. We can't drink water like that. We can't put makeup on our face. We can't put all of these chemicals on our bodies and put it under our arms and not expect to have an effect from that. Like everything we do, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Again, this is alchemical.
Yes, and it is sad that they're lying to people. Like everything in advertising is such an evil industry. I don't like to be against anything because I think we need to be for healthy things rather than being against things. But I think just having the awareness that everything on mainstream media is manufactured information to make people feel like they need something else that they don't need.
Profit focused, generating dollars. We're talking about pharmaceutical dollars. We're talking about big food conglomerates. We're talking about Food and Drug Association is at the top, and they live in the same house, okay? They're sanctioned by the government. They control the media. Everything that you see talks about protein requirements, talks about vitamin and mineral requirements. Everything's about requirements. Everything's trying to push you into drinking that water and eating those foods, and it's all okay because it's a bad thing to be hungry. It's dangerous for your health for you to be hungry.
It's great. It's great.
Right? We need to change our mind. We need to re-educate ourselves and others. Everyone needs to level up. We need to pick up our frequency and vibration, people. It's a more powerful thought to think that I can go through my life and through my day without needing to kill anything.
Yeah.
That's a much more powerful thought than this being needs to be huddled up into a small space and assassinated so that I can be happy for a moment.
It's profound. It's really profound.
That's a terrible, no, it's not terrible. It's a choice. It's a choice. But it's a lower frequency choice than my existence can grow here and not take the life of somebody else or something else on this gorgeous planet that we've been gifted and an experience that we have to live as our lives in.
Yeah, love it.
Yoga. Amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yay.
You inspired me today. What a wonderful,
that's great.
What a wonderful conversation I've had with you. We didn't get too deep into Ayurveda. It's on my list. Can you share what's Ayurveda? Give me a little.
Yeah, so Ayurveda is the ancient wisdom that the masters used to use to collect the energy into their bodies. So these guys barely needed to breathe. They did not need to eat solid food. This is very advanced. This is not something, I went through a process very similar to this when I was in India, where we didn't eat solid food for 30 days. We were chanting, and the vibration of the chant was so high that it was feeding our bodies. I didn't really have to sleep for 30 days. I was just so high on this chanting and liquids, and the vibration was intense, that the body just completely stays awake and it stays nourished. It's like an activation happens in the body where we become like a plant, where we're then absorbing prana from the air, from the space around us. We we actually have all the same functioning of a plant and a tree, where we actually do not need
photosynthesis
solid food
within the human body.
So I got to experience that on a very high level. It's real, and it really, there's ancient masters in India right now. There's men that are 200 years old that live in the caves. They're very, very healthy. They're very, very elevated. They do not come out in normal society.
And they need to eat minimally.
They don't really eat. They don't really sleep.
They
They're
don't need to eat
super
or sleep
wisdom.
very much at all.
Yeah. So thank goodness I got to study with some of them in India. So this stuff is real. So that's, to me, that's Ayurveda. That's the high levels of Ayurveda.
Amazing. What's possible?
Yeah.
This is what's possible. All things are possible when the body and mind are prepared.
Yes.
It starts with a thought, it moves into a word, and it comes into a habit and behavior, and it creates a reality for ourselves.
Yeah, and so this process I just described, it's called Nirahara Samyama, and that means the power of the body. So everybody should really know the power of the body. It's really amazing.
Awesome. Awesome, Yoga. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope that we will keep in touch and we can do this again maybe next year or within 6 months, because I love to have inspired conversation like this.
Sounds so great.
To our next
Same here. Thank you so much, John. It was great.
Awesome.
Thanks. All right, see ya.
Soon.
Bye.
Bye.